time. And we already had a playoff series. Someone said turn on the Isley Brothers. I will maybe next time. That was my man Rick James, bitch. I'm gonna start. Yo, I told my wife the other day I'm start playing some classic shit, bro. You kids just don't understand, bro. I'm start playing. I'm gonna start playing some classic shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got some Rick James up in this motherfucker. You know, I got a whole playlist that I play in my Corvette. I got this. I got Marvin Gaye. I got some Jimi Hendrix. For those of you guys too young to understand, but we are playoff ready, man. We are playoff ready right now. We already had a series. My man Midnight Shaq, already number one overall in head coaching wins in the regular season. Lethal Trey with the sub. Yo, what up? If he goes on a run, he could take first place in playoff wins away from No Vision, who's not active anymore as a coach. He should be at some point, but not anytime soon. So No Vision better hurry up and he better win because Shaq's coming for that spot. By the way, Shaq is like 4 or 5 wins away from 300 all time, bro. Nobody talks about Shaq anymore. Midnight Shaq is a dude that nobody really talks about anymore. In SIBA, I mean, nobody really talked about him in Pro-Am period, but like SIBA in general, like he used to be one of the guys that's like, bro, you can't talk about top centers without mentioning his name. Now everybody talks about, well, everybody's fucking talking about Peroxide, which obviously, you know, he deserves all the fanfare. I mean, the dude's been in the league for what? This is his 3rd season. He's already like 7 triple doubles behind Midnight Shaq all time. Midnight Shaq's been here since season 1. So, you know, he's getting all the attention. Native having a phenomenal rookie season for the the Stapleton division winning Killer Bees, the number 2 overall seed in the Shaolin Conference, Killer Bees. Trebley is another one people are talking about because he's having a really good season as a rookie. Listen, I'll be honest. Trebley does impress me. I've seen better rookie seasons from centers, but he looks like he's going to shaping up to be a good center on the level of like I would say him and like NS Toasty would be that would be like his ceiling. And NS Toasty is pretty much. I haven't done the All-Star ballot yet because I've been in Florida for a month, but I'm going to do it sometime tomorrow. And then we'll put the ballot out there and the awards. But Toasty's a dude that you're going to see, especially going into 2K27. Toasty's just going to be a dude that's going to go to multiple playoffs. Playoffs, yeah, but all-star games and stuff like that. And, you know, Trebley should hope that he ends up as good as NS Toasty is in SIBA. I mean, you know, once again, his team is number 1 in the division. Legendary Weapons bounce back to win the division 23-9. Looking as poised as ever to make another championship run under Coach Dietrich. So, someone like Trebley, yeah, you should be looking at. You know, when I say I compare him to a guy like Toasty, he should take that because Toasty's one of the best centers. He's probably like a top 7 center in the league. So, somebody gift this kid a sub, please. It's $6, $6, $7 now. I would gift, but I can't gift from my own channel. So that's the way it goes. Before we get to the playoff preview, I want to go over the regular season. Obviously, the 4 division winners, Killer Hills, Killer Bees, Glaciers of Ice. Glaciers of Ice back on top of their division. You love to see it. And Criminology winning that division has been a long time. Hearn with the gifted sub to my man Midword. Shout out to Hearn. That's a big move. Not even my wife subbed to the channel. She has a issue with her Google Play. So, and before you say that she ain't got any money, my debit card is hooked up to her Google Play. So, I can't even do it. But, yeah, so Criminology back in first place in that division for the first time in a fucking long time. That division, it was owned by Wu Chronicles for a little bit. And, you know, other teams out of there that had owned that division. Never Method Men. Bring the Ruckus had its turn. The Future had its turn. But, like, Criminology back on top of that division. The wild cards teams: Supreme Clientele, Johnny Blaze, 5-6. Supreme Clientele will be taking on Cuban Links, who had a listen. Cuban Links, 17-15, 12 seed. I'll tell you what, bro. There's a lot of people in this league that would kill to be 17-15, bro. I guarantee you, Method Men. I guarantee you, Knuckleheads. It's been a long time since I've seen Zig in the playoffs consistently. I guarantee you, Liquid Swords would kill to be 17-15 in any given season. But 17-15 for a team like the Cuban Links, that is a down season for them. They finished the season ice cold, losing 7 straight games. I anticipate them getting wiped off the map by Supreme Clientele, who's coming in to the playoffs, winning 8 out of the last 10. Johnny Blaze, number 6, they'll be taking on the Future. The Future was up here for a while. They were in first place in that division, and then they started playing like shit, and now they won 5 straight games. So they were 13-14, a game under 500. Not looking good for them on the outside looking in. They locked in behind Rookie of the Year candidate like CP, and they won 5 straight games, and now they're red hot. Johnny Blaze has won 7 out of their last 10. So it's going to be a good matchup between Blaze and the Future. That's going to be a really good wild card matchup. Bring the Ruckus in the playoffs, 19 wins. Shout out Balenciaga finally having a good season as the head coach. They'll be taking on another 19 and win team, Iron Man. So 7, 8, 9, and 10, all these teams are 19 and 13. Liquid Pro-Am be taking on Cold World in that first round as well. Manny's going to be coaching Cold World against his team, Liquid Pro-Am, and I know Manny's going to do a good job. I know he's not going to lose on purpose. You know, he doesn't want to disrespect the players on that team. Cold World, out of all the 19-win teams, I think Cold World has the best roster, right? Obviously, but they went 4-6 in the last 10 to end the season. They're going in a little bit cold. I got the matchups wrong. Sorry. So let me take a look at the actual Discord. Oh, Johnny Blaze in the Future. Liquid Pro-Am is playing Iron Man. I apologize. So Liquid Pro-Am actually got the 7 seed. It's Bring the Ruckus and Cold World. That'll be going at it. So I don't know why this website listed them 7, 8, 9 like that, but you know, we did some maneuvering as far as head-to-heads go, and it even has the conference records right here. You know, it even has these conference records right here. Like, they had the best conference record. They should have been, you know, jumped ahead of them. So, my bad for that. I think the Wu-Tang Conference is a lot more accurate. Winter Wars came 2 games out. They finished 15-17. Gravel Pit. Now, Gravel Pit was absolutely terrible for most of the season. Sereno started winning some games towards the end. They finished 5-5 in their last 10 games. They won 2 in a row to get it to a respectable, but still under 500, 15-17. Method Men winning 13 games is actually an up season for them, as sad as that sounds. But they won 7 out of the last 10, bro. They won on the street. They got Dave Fry in a trade. I criticized that trade heavily. A lot of people criticized that trade heavily. We'll see how it works out for them. But they and their first-round pick that they traded was lottery protected, so they will still have their first-round pick going into this draft that they traded. They'll still have their first-round pick as long as they're not in the playoffs. Bulletproof Wallets, rough season. They lost 3 straight games to end the season. They're out of the playoffs. Killer Army, my wife took over and lit a fire under them after Chang ran that team into the ground. Knuckleheads and Liquid Swords, just 2 teams ran by people that I like a lot. A lottery protected pick means if you trade a first-round pick and it's a lottery pick, then you keep that pick and it falls into the next season. And then then that next season comes, it doesn't matter if it's a lottery pick or not, then they keep that, the pick goes to you. Liquid Swords and Knuckleheads ran by 2 SIBA veterans, ran by 2 SOE guys, hardcore. They just have a tough time winning here now, man. That 5-out really doesn't work anymore, bro. And whatever Black Labels is doing clearly doesn't work either. 12-20, 11-21. Wu Chronicles ran by Trippy. Not much more needs to be said about that. Theodore Unit ran by Bruce. Not much more needs to be said about that. Scarfaces. Scarfaces is now 8-24 for King Jones. He's not used to being there, but if he doesn't shape up, I hear a lot of rumors. I hear a lot of talking about how King Jones is like impossible to play with and impossible to play for, and he's one of those owner coaches that has to be on the court for his team. If he doesn't figure it out quick, he's never going to sniff the playoffs again. This is a bad 8-24 team. Pro Tools 5-27. I can't remember, bro. Pro Tools are just on the way down, and they didn't have a first or second round pick in this season's draft, and they used a third round pick to keep no vision. So they're going to have those picks back. So I expect Pro Tools to bounce back. I do expect Pro Tools to bounce back. Clutch is the coach. He's a hell of a coach there. They're keeping no vision on the team for the third rounder. So they're going to have a first and second round pick, and it's going to be a high lottery pick. And then Bells of War 3-29, absolutely terrible. The Wu-Tang Conference, Assassination Day with the best record in the league. They took care of business against Killer Hills to close out the season. They're 27-5. This team went 8 out of their last 10 to get into the playoffs. Ferry Bowl Killers, 9 out of the last 10, 25-7. Number 2, finishing 2 games behind Assassination Day for number 1 overall seed. Here's the biggest surprise for me. Cash Rules 24-8. They were 10-3. They've been on top of that division all season long. This team was on top of the Woodrow division all season long, and I thought that they would fade and Gravediggers would take it. Gravediggers could just never get their footing under them all season long. They've been mediocre the entire season. They just snuck into the playoffs this season at 17-15. Cash Rules kept everybody at bay and ended up winning the division. So shout out to Swingerling, somebody that I did not approve to be coached. That was a Manny hire, and I criticized Manny for that, and I apologize to him because it turned out to be a fantastic hire. He's been a fantastic, phenomenal coach since he's been there. They win 24 games this season, and they are third. And then Legendary Weapons 23-9. Nice to see them bounce back. I've always said Legendary Weapons, as long as they have that core, they're going to be in a play. You're going to have to just deal with them, bro. That's it. They're going to have to deal with them. Black Diamonds had a bounce-back season, 22-10, finish a game behind Legendary Weapons for the division. They will not get a bye, but they'll be taking on the wait, let me go check. Well, they already won. They beat Wu Gambinos 3-1. Thule not keeping anybody. Thule's starting off fresh, brand new. Not keeping any of the players. It means... That means Bomb the Blue Skies is going back into the draft. And who was the other person that he kicked out? Nobody is coming back on Wu Gambinos. Already got the update. Now, things can change. But, Blue was traded mid-season. That's right. You're right. But listen, I've been in Florida all month, man. I've been on fucking vacation. So, give me a break. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to follow the fucking league as much as I normally do. All right? I was in Tampa. Everybody knows where I've been. ODB, 22-10 defending champs, started on. It was scary. Now, ODB was scary for them because it looked like these guys were just going to go from champs to not going to the playoffs at all. They figured it out. They've won 4 in a row to end the season. 7 out of the last 10 games, really turned it up. The division was tough for them. They went 9-6 in the division, winning record against the division, but it wasn't as easy as it was for them last. They didn't just beat the shit out of their division like they did last season. But here we are, man. They're 22-10, 6. They'll be taking on the 11 seed Gravediggers, who, like I mentioned earlier, could never get their footing under them. The 11 seed in the playoffs, this is where you want to be. Dosh doesn't miss the playoffs very much, if not ever. But 17 wins for a Dosh coach team, especially for Gravediggers, is not the season that they were hoping for. They were looking like, with teams like Golden Arms and Bring the Pain there and stuff like that, like, you're really looking, if you're Gravediggers, you're really looking to win that division, especially with 36 Chambers having an completely nightmare season. That division was supposed to be theirs, but Cash Rules never let it go. And now Gravediggers don't get a bye, and they have to face the defending champs in a best of 5 in the wild card round. Older Gods, 21 wins. So that fucking entire division was absolutely a nightmare. Bro, that division was fucking... You got ODB, Iron Flag, Older Gods, Ferry Bowl Killers, all in the playoffs. All of them over 19 wins. 3 20-win teams from that division. So you see Iron Flag there at 19 wins. Give them a lot of respect because they had 3 teams in their division ahead of them all won 20 games. I can't remember the last time 3 teams in the same division won 20 games. Older Gods will be taking on Shadow Boxers. Shadow Boxers won 18-14. Get in there with the 10th seed. And then Iron Flag and State Mafia. Iron Flag and State Mafia really turned it up. Won 4 in a row. They're pretty hot going in. Iron Flag cooled off a little bit. It's going to be a challenge for them. That's the way it's looking. Rushing Elephants just missed. They got 17 wins. Not enough. Not enough. Lose tiebreakers. Head-to-heads. Poisonous Darts, 15-7. They lost 5 games in a row. They were 15-12, and then dropped themselves right out of the playoff chase after a remarkable season by Loyalty to get his team there, right back outside of the top 12 where he's used to being. Golden Arms, 14-18 under new head coach / owner Summers. We just got his keepers in. He's looking to run it back with his core. Ghost Showers 2 seasons in a row. Gliz does not make the playoffs in SIBA. Crazy. Shows you how competitive this league is. That's why I see Gliz on fucking timeline all the time telling people to pick him up. Free agent pickup. All leagues. Yeah, because he ain't got no fucking SIBA postseason. He's got nothing to do for the next few weeks until we launch season 38. That's crazy how Gliz is just not in the playoffs for 2 seasons in a row. The kid never missed the playoffs once until last season. He's missed it 2 seasons in a row. This time at 13-19, they lost 2 out of their last 10 games. They went 2-8 to end the season. That's fucking bad for them. They're riding the level as Bring the Pain. Bring the Pain 13-19. They started winning a little bit at the end, gaining some respect. I like that out of Santos Slim. I like the fact that he didn't just fall asleep and just, he actually finished above 500 in the division, 8-7. He had a winning record against his division when it was all said and done, and he didn't give up. So he didn't care about no lottery picks. He was playing for pride, tired of being at the bottom, 13-19. Still got to step it up. Flying Daggers, 13-19. Deadly Melody, 13-19. Those are 2 franchises that are down in the dumps. Brooklyn Zoo, another terrible season under Coach Jules. They won 4 in a row to end it, but I got a lot of accusations about Brooklyn Zoo tanking. I ignored those when I saw they won 4 in a row to end the season. If you're tanking, you're not doing that. I just don't think Jules is a good coach. He hasn't figured out how to win. Protect Your Neck, 11-21. Ankles just didn't have enough first-round picks to make the playoffs. Daytona 500, terrible season. DeGallis is just, these guys are just bad. 36 Chambers, big surprise. They lost 10 games in a row to end the season. They were never good at any point in the season. Tutak losing. A team coached and played by Tutak going 9-23. Something's up. And then Sons of Man. What a long season for KMSPM and integrals. 5-27. Hey, it happens. It happens, right? Sometimes you just have a miserable season. That's how it goes. When you're down in the dumps like this, the only thing you can really do is just start scouting your ass off and hoping that you knock it out of the park. Hope you get a little luck on the wheel, and see what's coming out of college. See what prospects try to play. Your salary cap situation and see what you can do from there. But it's you don't want to be here, and this is something that Sons of Man is. We're gonna go over. We're gonna go. I'm not gonna announce any. Some of you guys probably know the awards already because Mita Dung did them. So he's probably told you guys. Remember, I have to finalize them all, and I'm gonna do the All-Star thing first, and we're gonna announce them all at the same time. There's gonna be other streams that I'm doing. I'm gonna try to do this every day. I'm gonna try to stream every day from like 1 to 2:30, or 1 to 2 for an hour, and then lead into the cages. So this is something I plan on doing. Like already, we're at a half hour, and I haven't even got to the playoff predictions yet and stuff. We're still going over the regular season. But this is how it's shaped up. As far as coaches on the hot seat, Belzevor is owned and coached by the same person. Pro Tools Clutch is the coach there. Is he on the hot seat? I don't know. Big Glow. Listen, Clutch is not a Big Glow Prince. Big Glow Prince loves the shit out of No Vision. I don't think he shares that same affinity for Clutch. So I think there can't be another season like this. And again, Glow Prince is a smart guy. He's been an owner in this league since the first season we had ownership, and I think he understands that the team didn't have a first or a second round pick. We did gift wrap him Troel and No Vision, but without a first and second round pick, it's tough to compete here. Is it possible? Yes. If you have a savvy coach, a savvy GM that knows the prospects, can get late round value, of course you can. Clutches has not been plugged into the amateur scene in SIBA, not into the high school or college in a while. So there goes that. Scarface is the coach, is the owner there. Same thing with Theodore Unit. Wu Chronicles, Trippy. Listen, Wu Chronicles is for sale. Anybody that buys that team is just going to drop Trippy. So, I mean, if nobody buys that team, I'll let him coach it again, and see what he can do with it. Liquid Swords, again, owner's the coach. Knuckleheads, owner's the coach. Killer Army will be getting a new coach next season. Bulletproof Wallets, I don't think exactly Dre's on the hot seat. I know From AZ likes him a lot, but his fee's going up another $5. So, and Bulletproof Wallets didn't make the playoffs last season, and we heard that was just a one-off, and now here we are again. Method Man owner's the coach. Gravel Pit. How many seasons do you think that Sorrento is going to be bad? You know what I'm saying? Expect him to bounce back in a big way. And, of course, Winter Wars, the owner's the coach there. Rushing Elephant, Step Back. Listen, Step Back Sam did a good job, I feel like. I mean, 6-9 in the division, 500 in the conference. Not going to get it done. You got to beat those teams. Just missed. I know Mavs is a patient guy. Go Showers. I don't think the owner of Go Showers is ever going to get rid of Gliz. Gliz may walk when he reaches free agency if he doesn't like his situation there, but he's just too talented of a player to get rid of. Flying Daggers, coached by Guapo. Now that owner doesn't give a fuck. He'll fire somebody after a season like he did Chippewa. So I think that I honestly think Guapo's on the hot seat. I wouldn't be surprised if TJ messages me and makes a move there. Brooklyn Zoo, is Jules on a hot seat? I would say so. That I would think so. Honestly, I would. There's no owner there in Brooklyn for Brooklyn Zoo, so that would be me. And bro, listen. The fact that they won 4 games in a row to end the season shows that they weren't tanking. That could pretty much save his job. 36 Chambers. I don't think RB Trey is getting rid of Tutok anytime soon. But I will tell you this. If you're paying a kid and he wins nine games and he's absent, he doesn't play a lot of games for the team, he's checked out mentally, he's streaming other leagues, he's playing, and you're 9-23, bro. If you're the owner of that team, you could be someone else's problem. And then Cam SPM and Integrals, I think they have a pretty cool relationship, so I don't think Cam SPM's on a hot seat right now. But you never know if these guys, if he 2,000 figure out this season, he's gone. I mean, yeah, listen, bro, what are you doing? If you're paying a kid, look, hey, listen, Pest, I'll tell you something about Pest. Score season didn't want to coach anymore. Pest took the team over as the coach, and all he did was win his division and go 22-10. And you don't got to pay nobody. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, the reason why you pay a coach, you guys have, we had these conversations over and over again. You guys have told me, listen, this is the only way to compete. Well, if you're doing that and you're paying a kid to coach your team for you so you can compete, and you go 9-23, what the fuck? What are you doing? You might as well be like Pest. Pest ain't paying nobody. Like Hearn's paying somebody, but they're 23-9. Killer Hills went out and got a fucking can't stop 6 out of college. All he does is get the number 1 overall record in the conference. You know what I mean? So, Vanilla Lane isn't a top-tier player. He's good, but they're 27-5, number 1 overall. I guarantee you could pay Vanilla Lane a lot less than you got to pay Tutok to coach your team. And take a look at this. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Kenny owns and coaches his own team. Nobody's giving Kenny a all-star vote, let alone fucking giving him an MVP or anything like that, right? He's coaching his team. They're 25-7. So, Cash Rules is coached by Swingerling. Bro, Swingerling's not an all-star in this league. Maybe he was at some point, but, and all those 3 guys, they don't even hold a candle to Dietrich, and they all finish with better records than him. So, you look around the league, and you're like, yo, I got Tutok here. Or you look around the league, and I got Gliz. How about this? I got Gliz. And Swingerling wins 24 games. The fuck? In my division. They're in the same division. Swingerling, who here is taking Swingerling over Tutok? In any scenario. But yet, same division, Cash Rules. 24-8, 10-5 in that division. 18-6 in the conference. Number 3 seed. He's no owner. An owner takes Cash Rules. They're not paying him. They're probably going to get rid of him. Which they shouldn't. They should give fucking $5. Yeah, Hearn paying you $5. Yeah, someone should give Swingling $5. Like, yo, keep this train rolling. Take $10 a season. You were doing it for free. You ain't paying, bro. Tutak ain't coaching the team for $5, $10 a season. That's not happening. But yet you're 9-23. You can give him another season, but that's money out the window. But like Tutak's a champion here, so I mean maybe it's a one-off. Now you're gonna have Tutak, and you're gonna be a lottery team. You're gonna get a lottery pick. I can't really remember if 36 Chambers made any trades. Were they sellers at the deadline or not? I can't really remember. I have to check their let's take a look at their draft status going into the offseason for season 38. 36 Chambers has all their picks. Now, Bring the Ruckus has an extra pick. Bring the Pain missing a third-round pick. These are things that you don't want to see from bad teams. You don't want to see this from bad teams. Flying Daggers missing a fourth-round pick. Gravel Pit traded away their second-round pick, but they got the Poisonous Dart second-round pick, which is going to be a higher pick than their own. Scarfaces have 2/3. They got the Bring the Ruckus third-round pick. Who else? Liquid Swords got an extra fourth-round pick from Flying Daggers. Shadowboxers have 2 third-round picks. They got Assassination Day third-round picks. Sons of Man is the team that has Bring the Pain's third-round pick, by the way. And then Wu Gambinos. Wu Gambinos have the second pick from Gravel Pit, which is going to be higher than theirs would have. So now we'll worry about season 39 when we get to season 39. I'm not even really thinking about that right now. We're just looking at the teams that have the best odds of turning it around quick. Obviously, we're not going to know that until the draft lottery. We're going to see where these guys are positioned. By the way, I'm making a change because of the tanking. We're at the point where nobody really tanks anymore. But I feel like I'm going to propose something coming up at the end of the season conference call, the end of the season town hall. And I think that the teams that are last place, the 2 teams that are last place should play a 3-game series. The team that wins the 3-game series stays in the lottery. The one that loses automatically gets the 24th. The bottom 2 teams. So in this case, it would be Bells of War, the bottom team from each conference. So if you're the bottom team in your conference, you'd play a 3-game set against the bottom team in the other conference. And you'd play a 3-game series. And the loser of that 3-game series gets moved to the 24th pick. The winner just retains their value in the lottery. So you're only going to have one of those teams. So I like this idea because of this. You see these guys right here? These guys got to win. Listen, it's better off to be 23rd than 24th. That's my thing. So, it's better to be 20th. You don't want to be 24th because then you got to play for position. 23rd, if you suck, you just want to be 23rd. You have to make sure that you are not the worst team in the league. Every height is allowed. Yeah, we don't do height shit. Every height is allowed. Every build is allowed. We don't do any of that shit. But yeah, you don't want to be 24th. You do not want to finish dead last. That's pretty much where I stand with that. You don't no tempo shoot. There's no tempo shooting with no build restrictions, no badge restrictions, no height restrictions, no lineup restrictions. Just there's no tempo. We were the second league to implement no tempo this year. The first was MHPA. They don't exist anymore, so they don't. So technically, we were the first. But yeah, you don't want to finish at the bottom. You don't want to finish at the bottom. You'd rather finish 23rd and 24th if you're having a bad season. And if you're at the bottom, now this is not going to happen this season. We're going to start the season 38 so that the season 39 draft, which will be the first season for 2K27, the bottom 2 teams in the conference will have to play a 3-game series. The bottom 2 teams from each conference are going to have to play a 3-game series to determine who's going to retain their lottery position and their odds of getting number 1 overall pick, and who's going to get bumped all the way to 24 in perhaps the most meaningful draft of the year, which will be the first draft of 2K when most of the league is going back into the draft. So trust me when I tell you, you don't want to. You do not want to be at the bottom next season. Season 38, do whatever you got to do. Scrape, claw, scratch your way out of the bottom. Do not finish last. And if you have to play that little toilet bowl series with free agents and leave the destiny of your franchise to a bunch of free agents, then so fucking be it. That's the position you put yourself in. It would have been Sons of Man and Bells of War. So let's go over the matchups. Let's go over these matchups. We'll go Shaolin Conference, round 1, Wild Cards, Supreme Clientele, the 5 seed, Cuban Links, the 12 seed. They limped their ways into the playoffs. Rest in peace, Dub Wallace, but his team is going to get swept out the building easy. They're just two teams on totally different trajectories right now. Cuban Links have lost 7 games in a row. They just lost right now. They're lost right now. That's all you can really say. Johnny Blaze in the future, that's going to be a competitive series. I like Johnny Blaze for the veteran leadership. I think, listen, like CP is a hell of a talent. But, you're playing against a Johnny Blaze, playing against a Meter Dunk coach team. He's been there plenty of times. I don't think Meter Dunk is at all intimidated. There was a time when Meter Dunk was intimidated by teams with players like CP on him. But, when you have somebody like Meter Dunk who's been in this league for so long, he's seen these type of players not show up in the playoffs. I mean, it happened when Bam was a rookie. When Killer Hills had that season, the season that Hearn ran to LBA, and they just got wiped out in the playoffs when Bam came back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, since then, Bam's won a championship as a coach and whatnot, but, he was a rookie then. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to CP, but, I got to go with the veteran there. I got to go Johnny Blaze in that series. I'll make it 3-2. I'll make it. I think the talent on future is enough talent to make it go 5 games, but I think Johnny Blaze takes care of business in 5 games. Liquid Pro-Am over Iron Man. Iron Man's a good team, scary good. I like Iron Man. I love the job that Lando's doing. I'll be the first to admit I never had confidence in Lando as a head coach that puts himself on the court, an owner that coaches and puts himself on the court. But he has been a solid, not a top tier, not an all-star level, a fringe all-star level center, but a solid center for that team. Solid. He owns it. He coaches it. He starts at center. Nobody on the team's complaining. They're playing a Liquid Pro-Am team coached by Hoodie Ross. I think that Liquid Pro-Am team will take it in 4 games. Simple reason, Hoodie Ross is just the best player on the court for each team. And when the team gets into trouble, he can light up the scoreboard for 45 points. Cold World over Bring the Ruckus. I got Cold World over Bring the Ruckus. Keelock not there. Manny's there. And with Manny there, nobody wants to dick around. And the team is good, bro. Cold World's a good team. QMVPG is a top-tier point guard. Viewmatic's a great center. Solid center. Great center. Not just a solid, great center. And I got them winning that series. You could say in 3 games. It is what it is. But I got Cold World. I got Liquid Pro-Am. I got Johnny Blaze, Supreme Clientele. That would be 5, 6, 7, and 9. So that would put Killer Hills against Cold World. Killer Bees against Liquid Pro-Am. Glaciers of Ice against Johnny Blaze. And Criminology against Supreme Clientele. That's when shit starts to get interesting in this conference when you hit the divisional. It always starts to get interesting in the divisional round. Wild card round, you may see some upsets, which is always cool. You can take a look at some of these teams like Cuban Links. 7 straight losses to get here. You could say they didn't belong there, but listen, who you gonna have there? Winter Wars. They're better than Winter Wars. So it just feels like Cuban Links is just a team that they just got there. They stumbled their way in, kind of like Johnny Blaze a couple seasons ago, and then end up getting knocked out cold. They're just gonna get knocked out cold. Over to the Wu-Tang Conference. We already have Black Diamonds taking care of business, 3-1 against Wu Gambinos. Old Dirty Bastards and Gravediggers. ODB on top of Gravediggers are going to take care of him. I think it's going to be a sweep. Honestly, I think it's going to be a sweep. Older Gods and Shadow Boxers. I like Older Gods in that division. O2BH with the sub. Shout out to O2BH. Be watching that Nick game tonight. I don't know if I can watch. I gotta go to sleep early, so it's tough. I like Older Gods in that series. Give me Older Gods in 5. Give me State Mafia in 4. I don't want to hear nothing from Wave or anybody else. Give me State Mafia in 4. That's it. State Mafia is having a solid season, and they're winning, and I just like it. So that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, that's 8. So you're going to get State Mafia going to have to take on the number 1 team in the league, Assassination Day. That's going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be a fun fucking series to watch. You're going to have Ferry Boat Killers going up against Older Gods, 2 division foes going at it. Let's take a look at how they fared against each other this season. What did it look like? Ferry Boat Killers with a clean sweep, 83-72, 76-69, 96-93. That's what it looked like for Older Gods. A nightmare matchup for Older Gods. Now, if you're Older Gods, you could say, hey, you guys beat us 3 times in a row in the regular season. You know how hard it is to beat a team 6 times in a row? You know how hard it is to beat us that many times? No. But all intents and purposes, bro, at the end of the day, Ferry Boat Killers is just a better team than Older Gods. They proved it in the regular season, and I think they'll have no problem proving it in the playoffs. Old Dirty Bastards will play Cash Rules. That would be a fucking fun matchup to watch. We'll see if Cash Rules is really for real. If they do end up taking on the defending champs in the divisional round, and then Legendary Weapons and Black Diamonds, another division foe. Now, what do they do against each other in this regular season? 2 division opponents going at it. Let's take a look at Legendary Weapons. Click on the schedule. Opponent, Black Diamonds. Black Diamonds took 2. So Black Diamonds won the season series. Why is Promont not playing? Promont's not playing? Why is Promont not playing? What they got going on? Oh, shit. That changes everything, bro. Damn, he's out for the year? He's in a hotel right now? Oh, he moved. Oh, my God. Who's their backup point guard? Well, listen, shout out to Promont with the internship, man. I'm proud of him. You know, that's real life shit, not a video game. So shout out to him, bro. I'm proud of him. You know, 9-week internship. Hey, listen. Gotta do what you gotta do. You know, I gotta do what you gotta do. Who's their backup point guard, though? Who's coming in for them? That should be interesting. And if they knew about that, then they should have went and got themselves a backup point guard. If they're not equipped to handle that, that's on them. A Zener? Why am I asking a bunch of trolls? I just have to go look myself. Play calls. 21-7, not bad in 3 games. 32 points against Sabrina Ruckus and a loss. The team was 2-1 with him. He's not Promont. I'll tell you that right now, bro. He is not Promont. Mediocre game here. 13-6. 19-6. Mediocre game against Bring the Pain. And only beating Bring the Pain by 1 both games. It's got to be tough. Hard to replace 27 and 11 in that lineup. Nah, we're going to do the lottery coming up soon. Trust me, we're going to do the lottery coming up soon. I don't know what the exact day, but it's coming up soon. But anyway, back to this series. Black Diamonds took 2 out of 3 from Legendary Weapons. Potentially, that's a fun series. If it goes this, that's a fun series if it goes this way. Which it looks like actually they are the 5th seed. That's the only team that they can play. So we're punching that right in there. There's no other team that they can play. It doesn't matter who loses. They have to play the highest remaining seed. So Legendary Weapons at Black Diamonds. Black Diamonds took 2 out of 3 in a regular season from Legendary Weapons. You guys keep sleeping on Shaq. Bro, Shaq, they had a bounce back season, bro. Let's take a who's on that team right now. I know they don't have Fitz anymore. They got Big Cause. 30 points a game. Cole, 2 games. 27.8, 8.5. Look at that backcourt, bro. Damn near 60 points a game from that backcourt. Miami coming back this season. 72 steals on the season for Miami in the back end position. Midnight Shaq averaging a double-double, 10, 11, and 6. This is your starting lineup, and Bumper, only 38 steals. You want to see more from Bumper than 38. But this is your starting 5 right there, Cause and Coach in the backcourt. Bumper at, I believe, lock. Miami playing back end. And Midnight Shaq, one of the best centers of all time in the league, playing in the middle. That is your lineup for Black Diamonds. Now, Legendary Weapons. They'll be going up against first half Jay, 19 and 9. Needle Mover, NS Toasty, Toughest, and Dietrich. Jesus, these guys averaging 20-something points a game. Needle User, 21.3. Toughest, 23.1. First half, Jay, a shade under 20. It's hard for 3 guys to average 20 a game. And, of course, you got Dietrich and Toasty, 14 and 9 and 8, almost averaging a triple-double all fucking season long. Dietrich, another double-digit block season, 72 steals. Phenomenal season for Dietrich once again. I think this Legendary Weapons team is going to be favored in that series, but you can't take it away from them. Hey, and Penny, of course, Penny right there, 14 and a half and 8.5, ready to come off the bench when needed. If they have any injuries or scheduling conflicts, you got Penny stepping right up. But I think this team's going to be heavily favored in that matchup, even though, Black Diamonds took 2 out of 3. So I think they'll probably win that series 3-1 when it comes down to it. But we already have a series because Shaq played and Thule played. So that's what we got. This is the matchup that we got to begin. Remember, start piling in. I'm going to, when the broadcast ends at 1, you guys want to start piling in. Let's start making these cages great again, guys. Let's start fucking getting these cages going, bro. Like, cages is one of the best fucking products we got out there, bro, in all of Pro-Am, man. Don't accept any substitutes or cheap imitations. Get in the cages today, 1 o'clock. I think that they might be even piling in right now. Let me check the... Yeah, look at that, bro. Point guards, all of them are starting to load up into their channels right now as we speak. So start getting in there. I'm going to start streaming every day. Like, I really want to do from like 1 to 2. I want to just start doing these streams, bro, from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I got to start streaming every day. I got to start putting content out. People got to see my face. From 1 o'clock to 2, it will lead right into the cages right away immediately. And then, Develop Key will be streaming at night most of the time. You got SIBA playoffs now. You got the Natty. You got the high school. And you got G League. So you want to tune into that SIBA network. We cover all the games, all levels. Make sure you guys are tuning in, supporting the stream, all that other good stuff, all right? KOTC is the best shit out. Yeah, okay, listen, whatever we do, bro, we do it the best. End of story, bro. I don't want to fucking... I'm tired of seeing shit on the timeline. You guys going to these other spots, bro, and shouting them out, bro. Come on, stop lying to me. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to your family. Stop lying to your ancestors and your fucking great-great-grandparents that came over the boat or wherever the fuck they came from Europe, Asia, India, Africa, wherever the fuck they came from. They're watching you right now. And when they see you on Twitter giving all these other leagues shout-outs, when you know deep down in your fucking heart that it's SIBA over everything, you are bringing great shame to your family name and legacy. All right? Start being honest with yourselves and others. And start getting in these fucking cages in KOTC. Accept no cheap imitations. Yo, I'm telling you right now. I'm going to recap real quick. Oh, you want me to check the DMs? You want me to check the DMs live? Am I allowing off-season trades this year? Is Thule is on the hot seat? What? What? No way. Oh, my God. No way, bro. Oh, man. Thule on the hot seat right now? What is going on? Thule's one of the most prolific scorers. He's not keeping anybody. I wouldn't do that, man. Like, yo, me and the dog, talk some sense into the kid, bro. You can't put him on, bro. Stop. Don't do that to Thule, bro. He's been a 20-win. He's been a 20-game winner every season he's been a coach. How is he tanking? He's in the playoffs. He's not in the lottery. How's he tanking? Thule's not back. How is he back in the draft? He just gave me his keepers. He's been a 20-win coach every season he's been here, from coaching Ferryboat to coaching Wu Gambinos. Teams go up and down. He's not keeping anybody. Give him an off season, bro. One more season in 2K26. Can't do that, man. Listen, if that's the case, that's the case. It is what it is as a team owner. You know, it is what it is. The grass ain't always greener, though. Who else you going to get? You never know, bro. You might be stuck. You may never be able to get that caliber type of player to coach a team again. Bro, look, look, man. Look what I'm talking about, bro. All these teams that were 17 and 15, and the Gambinos were the team that did it, and they beat out Rushing Elephants for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it sucks. Listen, I'll tell you right now, if you're Wu Gambinos, it sucks to see this. See what I'm highlighting right here, if you guys can see it on the stream? Being under 500 in the division is not going to get you anywhere. Golden Arms and Ghost Showers had winning records against the division, and they didn't make the playoffs. Everybody else, and Bring the Pain, everybody else, 6-9, 7-8, 4-11. All these teams did not get winning records against their division. Iron Flag, State Mile, these guys are lucky. You got to own your division if you want to make the playoffs. It's tough. What about this other conference? Everybody in the playoffs had a winning record against their division. These are the teams who play 3 times a season. There's only 2 teams outside of the division, outside of the playoffs, that had winning record against their divisions. Winter Wars had a winning record against the Stapleton Conference, and Knuckleheads had a winning record against their conference, their division. Sorry, not conference, division. Everybody else under 500. That's the key. You got to win in your division. It's a coaching issue, not talent. Well, bro, listen. If these players are not following at the end of the day, you got a coach, you got a player like Thule and a coach like Thule who has won 20-plus games as a coach. Let me tell you something. Thule has not been a coach for a long time. He's not been a coach for a long time. He's been a coach for a handful of seasons, maybe like 5 or 6 seasons. He's got 85 wins. How many seasons has he coached? I'll tell you right now. He's been a coach for 4 seasons, bro. 4 seasons he's been a coach. 24, 25, 20, and now 17. 3 seasons before this, bro, he's been a 20-win coach. He's got a #1 overall seed on his record. If you got a player that is not respecting him, then get him the fuck out of there. Get him the fuck out. Get the player the fuck out of there. Bro, there's not that many coaches that are going to have that kind of credibility. Look, this is his first season as a coach. Ferryboat. Trippy hired him. 43 points, 36, 41, 37. The kid has been a fucking absolute monster. Not just on the court. But, bro, 24 wins, 25 wins, 20 wins. These 3 seasons in a row, 20 wins plus. You don't know what you're going to get with the next guy. You have no clue. You have no clue what you're going to get with the next coach. I don't think he's been fired, but his owner says he's on the hot seat. I have not gotten the word that anybody's been fired yet. I have not gotten the word. There is nobody. There has not been any concrete confirmed firing or anything. But if you're telling me that it was a coaching issue because one of his boys didn't want to load up and they had a problem with Thule, the problem's not Thule. The problem's that Thule was a 20-win season guy 3 seasons in a row before that kid got there. To me, the kid's not the problem. To me, it's not the problem. At all. That problem is not the coach. First of all, you get rid of Thule as a coach, you're getting rid of this production. That's fucking insane. 6.9 assists, career high, 6.9 assists, 2 seasons in a row. 40 wins. I don't know, bro. I don't know. First round exits, it sucks. First round exits do suck. I do agree with you. But then again, there's a lot of teams out here right now that will love to see the first round. How many teams have not seen the first round in a long time? If Thule hits the open market, bro, he will not be a free agent coach for long. If Thule hits that open market, bro, he will not be a free agent for long. He will not be a free agent for long, bro. Somebody will absolutely scoop him up. I know he's got to go back in the pool. I get it. If he gets traded to a team as the coach, it's a different story. If Thule got fired, he doesn't have enough. He's close. He's got 85 wins in 4 seasons. It would be a shame, bro. But you know what Thule could do if he wants? He could just say, fuck it, go down to college next season. And if he goes down there and fucking wins a bunch of games and wins a championship down there, I might just be like, yo, all you needed was 1. Thule can actually go and earn himself his coaching free agency back in college with a season or 2. Someone like that, a player like a coach of that caliber, wouldn't need a lot of seasons in college. 2 tops. 2 tops. And that's if he goes down there and he wins in college as a coach, even if he puts himself on the court. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He goes down there and guess what? If Thule went to coach college so he can get his coaching eligibility back, I don't think there's a prospect anywhere that would not want to. Remember, when you're in high school and you get a scholarship, you get to choose. Thule would have the pick of the litter in college. He get anybody he wants. He goes to college and coaches the team. He'll get anybody he wants. He'll go down there and rip a fucking natty or 2 away. Easy. So if he got fired this season, I'm saying I probably wouldn't approve any trades for him because he's a coach. He'd have to be going to that team specifically to coach. He would, in order for him to be traded and coach, he'd have to be traded to that team specifically to become the coach. That team has to have no coach. That team has to have an owner with a coach that they have to fire. He doesn't get traded as a player. He gets traded as a coach. He would have to go. So if you had a deal in place with some team, right? And the teams that I could see right now, the only teams that I can see that that are in that position to do that, right? Kobe 2K can take a walk. No offense to Kobe 2K. The Gallus could take a walk. Guapo could take a walk. There's no trade committee, Ty. Never. There'll never be a trade committee. You have the Gallus, Kobe 2K, Guapo could take a walk. Those three players, those three coaches could take a walk. Clutch could take a walk. Bruce Man can do it. He could step down. Wu Chronicles doesn't have an owner, so that's out of the table. I wouldn't approve that. Killer Army doesn't have an owner, so that's out of the question. I don't think From AZ would be getting rid of Exactly Drake anytime soon. He's staying there. Gravel Pit. Sorrento has told me that he's looking for a coach. He wants to step aside. Gravel Pit would be a candidate. Ty, why are you worried about trades, bro? Go scout. Don't worry about trades. If you guys are really that concerned about trades, you don't know the first thing about this league, bro, how to build a team. You guys are all concerned about trades. Bro, trading is not the way you win consistently here, bro. You got to work the fucking salary cap. Method Men would hire Thule. I guess Campen would just step aside. That would be big. I don't think you have the draft capital. They want multiple picks, first-round picks. You wouldn't be able to keep Dayfry. No, there wouldn't be no Dayfry because he'd have to trade. Bro, you're not keeping Dayfry if you get Thule as the coach. They're going to want those picks. So I don't see that happening. So there's only a handful of teams. Sons of Man, if I was Integrals, if I was Integrals right now off a 5-win season, Cam SPM's not fucking untouchable by a long shot. So the trades are going to work itself out, man. Manny is the one that filters the trades. So you got to talk to Manny, bro, at the end of the day. Cam, it doesn't matter what you would give. This is what the coach would want. This is what the owner would want. That's what the owner is going to want. Not you. You're not volunteering. If Psycho D wants your next season's first-round pick, and he's going to get it, or then you just can't afford him. But there's only a handful of teams. I would say the only teams that can actually trade for Thule as a coach would be Sons of Man, and Integrals has a lot of loyalty to Cam SPM, but I don't think you have a lot of loyalty when your team wins 5 games. Daytona 500, because Kobe 2K is not a player coach, and the team just won 9 games with him as coach, so he's not untouchable by a long shot. Deadly Melody, you could tell DeGallis to fucking take a hike, and he can get hired anywhere. He's got his wins. I believe he's got his wins. Oh no, he doesn't have 150. Flying Daggers, Guapo can coach anywhere because he already went to college. But that's a team that can tell them to take a hike. Yo, Big Red, we're not doing anything Sunday because Sunday's the UFC Freedom 250. No, it's 150. It's 150. Sunday's Freedom 250, not Saturday. It's on a Sunday this year. It's on a Sunday this weekend coming up. It's not Saturday. And that's it, bro. Like, those are the only teams, really. Maybe Stitch step aside. What do you mean, what the fuck? You think I'm not watching those fights? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your fucking mind? You think I'm not watching those fights? You're out of your mind. No, it's Sunday, bro. It's June 19th. Or June 14th. The 14th is Flag Day. It's Sunday. What about Assassination Day, bro? Assassination Day can tell Vanilla Lane to take a hike, but guess what? Are you going to do that when they just won 27 games? No. Old Dirty Bastard's not doing anything. Got Kinzo there. Odegaard's not going to tell Comp to take a hike. Neek will never tell Antoine Love to take a hike. Iron Flag's got Trell Huncho there. Pretty much the same players. Shadow boxers can do it. I didn't even announce the winners, Mac. But I'm going to announce the winners when I do that when we finish the All-Star ballot, which I'm going to make soon. Remember, I was in Florida for a month. I didn't have access to my computer, so, you know. But if we're talking about possible trade suitors for Thule as coach, Cold World has no owner. Forget about them. I'll tell you the suitors, and then we're gonna go. Now I'm not gonna do it now because we don't have the All Stars, so and I want to be able to stream something else, and I gotta go because the cage is starting. But I'm gonna give you the possible suitors for Thule to be coach. Killer can't stop six. In case you guys haven't heard, he actually did win Coach of the Year. It would be fucking insane to get rid of the Coach of the Year. I do not think Landis would do that. Glaciers of Ice. I don't think Pest does it. I don't think Pest does it. I don't think because Pest had Score as a coach, and now he's coaching the team and he's 22-10, and won the division. Don't have to pay nobody. Runs his own team. He's got. I'm not going. That was the only award that was given out because I was going I was going over the coaching, the possible coaching spots for Thule. I don't think you're gonna convince Glaciers of Ice to do. I don't think you're gonna convince Pest. I don't think Glaciers of Ice is a possibility for Thule because Pest coached his team to a 22-10 win season. Criminology, love Nomar. He's doing a good job over there. 20 wins. They just won the division. Bam's not going anywhere. Johnny Blaze doesn't have an owner yet. Bring the Ruckus would be a good suitor. They have Balenciaga Tay, even though he won 19 games, still Balenciaga Tay. Gravel Pit is a good suitor. So you got, in my opinion, you got Bring the Ruckus, Gravel Pit. You heard it from King Camp himself, Method Men. Theodore Unit. Pro Tools. Kenny can always take a step back if he wants. I don't think he's going to want to because his team won 25 games with him on the court. Shadow Boxers. That's 6. Flying Daggers, 7. Deadly Melody, 8. Daytona 500, 9. Sons of Man, 10. There are 10 teams right now that I feel like could make a push for Thule. And Kenny, honestly, if you won 25 games with yourself on the court, you'd be dumb to trade away the farm. You got something that's working, bro. You got something. You were a lock away from having probably the best roster. You know what I'm saying? 25-7. Like, listen, if you get taken out of the lineup and put Thule there, is it going to help? Yeah, but you're not going to be able to keep King Peroxide because you're not going to have the first round picks. You know what I'm saying? You got to rebuild. Whoever, if the Thule trade goes down, whatever franchise trades for him is going to have to accept the fact that you're going to have like a couple of losing seasons in a row while the team rebuilds its draft collateral. It is a long-term move to trade for Thule. It is because they're going to ask for multiple first-round picks. He will pull in a haul of picks, a haul. But that is huge news, man. If Thule is on that trade block, I just gave you my 10 teams where he would make the best fit. Guys, it's Cages time. Y'all start piling in now. And, and that's another point. That's another point that Develop Key made. You're going into a new 2K. You also got to see if he's going to be this good. So that is, you are rolling the dice a little bit. All right. Head over to the Cages, please. I'll see you on the next stream, guys. Peace out. Oh, before I go, one more thing. Any lock times for tonight? Any games for tonight? Just older gods and shadow boxes? We got to do better than this. You only got tonight and tomorrow night. Yeah, I'll open the chatter right now. Older gods and shadow boxes tonight? We got anything else going on? Links clientele at 9. Hey, listen, if it's not here, it doesn't exist. Better get with an admin and put it lock times. Don't leave yourself fucking fucked. Don't leave yourself screwed over. Put it in, make sure it's in lock time. So just in case something goes down, you know what I'm saying? Then we have something, we have recourse. Yo, guys, I will see you guys on the next stream, possibly tomorrow. I got a lot of shit to do tomorrow. Got to take my Corvette in to get I got the new Stingray hood. I'm not gonna have my car for a few days, but I got to bring it in. All right, guys. Ad just came on. It's a perfect opportunity to shut the stream off. Peace out, fellas.